want your bear Bobo, don't you?
Liar! I'll give you the thrashing of a lifetime! Resistance is futile! Oh, God, how I want my bear. But he's gone forever.
Today we're looking at one of the cleverest episodes of The Simpsons, where the life of Mr. Burns is compared to the life of Charles Kane in the classic 1941 movie Citizen Kane. Now, Citizen Kane is often called the greatest film ever made. It tells the story of a man who gets wealth and power but dies lonely, showing that money can't buy happiness or replace childhood innocence. When he dies, he whispers the word Rosebud. And for the rest of the movie, a journalist tries to find out what that mysterious word means. Make sure you watch to the end of this video because we'll reveal what Kane meant when he said Rosebud. This Simpsons episode takes that serious story and turns it into a comedy. This kind of recreation is called a parody, when you copy something serious but present it in a funny way. So in this lesson, we'll watch the key moments from The Simpsons and then match them with the scenes from Citizen Kane and break down the useful English along the way. Here we see Kane on his deathbed whispering his final word. Rosebud. He drops a snow globe which smashes on the floor. This snow globe symbolizes memory and childhood. A nurse comes in and pulls a sheet over his head. Charles Kane is dead. The Simpsons parodies this scene beautifully.
I want my Eddie. Bobo. Bobo. Oh, it's you. The bedpan's under my pillow.
Who's Bobo, sir?
Bobo? I meant Lobo. Sheriff Lobo. They never should have cancelled that show.
Burns tosses and turns in his bed and mutters the word Bobo. To mutter means to speak quietly and unclearly, usually so only you can hear it. He also drops a snow globe and it smashes on the floor. When Smithers asks who Bobo is with obvious jealousy, Burns is ashamed of his sentimentality and tries to cover it up. Ashamed means feeling guilty or embarrassed. Sentimentality just means a strong feeling towards something. So he pretends he was saying Lobo, not Bobo. Lobo refers to the Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, a really bad police show from the late 1970s. In Citizen Kane, there's a flashback, a jump back to an earlier time where young Charles is taken away from his parents by a rich man named Thatcher. As you can see in this clip, Kane doesn't want to go with Thatcher and uses his sled to push him away. Let's see what The Simpsons does with this scene.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, I am the happiest boy there is, aren't I, Bobo?
Happy! Come here, Happy!
Yes, Mumsy? Happy? Would you like to continue living with us, your loving natural parents? Or would you rather live with this twisted, loveless billionaire? Let's roll!
His parents ask if he wants to stay with his loving, natural parents or go with the twisted, loveless billionaire. Loveless means cold and uncaring, without love, basically. Twisted here means morally wrong or strange. The most twisted character in film history is probably the Joker in The Dark Knight. It's rather funny because Kane clearly didn't want to leave his mother, but Burns doesn't hesitate to leave them for a second. He gets into the limo and says, "Let's roll," which is a slang phrase meaning let's go or let's get moving. Burns chooses wealth and power, leaving behind his family. He drops his bear, Bobo, the symbol of his childhood. So in both stories, a boy is pulled out of his childhood and pushed into wealth, power, and forced maturity. And in the process, he leaves something behind in the snow. We look back at Kane's whole life. We see him as a boy with his mother, the family home, then later as a young man, rich and powerful. We see his marriage, his success, and finally his downfall. On the surface, it all looks impressive, but underneath, it's sad and lonely. And it makes you wonder what success really means. At the end, he has all these possessions which, as you can see, have no meaning to him. All he really wants is the one thing he can't have, his childhood. Now look at the Simpsons parody. It shows Burns' life in a few images, but every photo is a bit ridiculous. First, Burns rides a penny-farthing. Next, his face is photoshopped onto the famous photo of American soldiers raising the flag in World War II. That real image is from the island of Iwo Jima, one of the hardest battles of the Pacific War. Then his head is put onto Muhammad Ali's body, turning him into the champion of the boxing ring. It's funny because Burns is weak and frail, the exact opposite of a strong athlete. After that, Burns reenacts the famous Marilyn Monroe moment where she stands over a subway grate and her dress blows up.
Isn't it delicious?
Sort of cools the ankles, doesn't it?
This is one of the most glamorous, sexy images in Hollywood history, and seeing a skinny old man copy it is the opposite of glamorous. Finally, we cut back to Burns as a child holding Bobo.
Ah, Bobo.
Burns too has a lot of possessions, but he also craves his lost childhood. The parody works because the style is serious, but the content is absurd. Absurd means so silly or strange that it doesn't make sense. Monty Python's Ministry of Silly Walks is a good example of something that is absurd.
Yeah.
Yet, even in the comedy, it's meaningful. For Kane, it's big achievements that still couldn't bring happiness. For Burns, it's one ridiculous moment after another. Different styles, same truth. Success isn't the same as fulfillment.
Look at all the wonderful things you have, Mr. Burns. King Arthur's Excalibur, the only existing nude photo of Mark Twain, and that rare first draft of the Constitution with the word suckers in it.
Yes. So what?
You want your bear Bobo, don't you?
Liar! I'll give you the thrashing of a lifetime! Resistance is futile! Oh, God, how I want my bear. But he's gone forever.
On the surface, it looks like Burns has everything. He's got King Arthur's Excalibur, the legendary sword from the story King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Then there's a so-called nude photo of Mark Twain, which is obviously a joke because Twain was a serious 19th century American writer. And finally, a rare draft of the US Constitution with the word suckers in it. Another joke or gag, since the real Constitution is a formal, serious document and would never use slang like that. Burns' reaction shows the emptiness of it all. He brushes these treasures off with, yes, so what? Because deep down, he doesn't care about any of them. What he really wants is his bear, Bobo. But he doesn't want to admit that because it would show that he's weak and sentimental. He can't face that truth. So he gets angry at Smithers and threatens him with the thrashing of a lifetime. Thrashing means a violent beating. Spike often gives Jerry a thrashing in the Tom and Jerry cartoon. Resistance is futile is a dramatic way of saying fighting back is useless. This phrase often gets used in Star Trek. Resistance is futile. And then Burns breaks down with groans and sighs. He admits, "Oh God, how I want my bear, but he's gone forever." This parodies Citizen Kane, where Kane builds a palace called Xanadu, filling it with art and riches, but he dies lonely. Both stories show the same truth. Money can buy things, but it can't buy love, childhood, or happiness.
So, good sand today, hmm? Oh, well, I don't usually, well, just this once. Ugh. Damn you, Paparazzo! Ugh. Well, Maggie, I've given this a lot of thought. I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement. Yes! Beaten by an infant. What could be more humiliating?
What a scoop!
Okay, Maggie. You win, but I want you to do something for me. Hang on to that bear. Don't make the same mistake I made. For me? Bobo? Smithers, I'm so happy. Something amazing has happened. I'm actually happy. Take a note. From now on, I'm only going to be good and kind to everyone.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't have a pencil.
Don't worry. I'm sure I'll remember it.
In the final moments, Burns tries one last time to get Bobo back from Maggie. A paparazzo is a photographer who takes private photos of famous people, usually in an annoying or aggressive way. Notting Hill probably has the most famous paparazzi scene. By the way, paparazzo is singular, paparazzi is plural. To come to an agreement means to reach a decision together, often after some discussion or negotiation. In this short clip, Gus and Mike come to an agreement.
Would 20% overcome this difficulty?
I would not take money from your family.
Maggie, unfortunately, doesn't give in. Burns falls back panting and admits, beaten by an infant. What could be more humiliating? Humiliating means extremely embarrassing, something that makes you feel ashamed. A reporter falling off a boat while she's interviewing someone is humiliating. At that moment, a photographer yells, "What a scoop!" A scoop is a piece of news that no one else has yet, especially something surprising or exclusive. For example, the reporter got a scoop about the president's resignation.
Hang on to that bear. Don't make the same mistake I made.
To hang on to something means to keep it and not let it go. This is Burns' moment of wisdom. He's admitting that once you give up your childhood innocence, you can never get it back. Maggie sees his sadness and, out of kindness, gives the bear back to him. Now, here's the key difference from Citizen Kane. Kane never gets Rosebud back. He dies still longing for it. Burns does get Bobo back, but what Bobo represents, his lost childhood, is gone forever. This makes the parody both funny and bittersweet at the same time. Bittersweet means something that is both happy and sad at the same time. For example, graduating university was a bittersweet moment. I was proud but sad to leave my friends. Now let's see what Charles Kane meant when he uttered the word Rosebud on his deathbed.
Throw that junk.
Thanks so much for joining Hollywood English today. If you found the lesson useful, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to beef up your English a little bit more, check out this video. Cheers.
Okay, you address the Queen of Narnia. I didn't know. You will know a better hereafter.
Wait.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was my favorite movie as a kid.